They tell us the truth in
That's the
plain
most natural
sight.
smile I've ever seen out of Mark Zuckerberg.
So the song Shake It Off was about how I shed my skin every 1,000 years. And the song Bad Blood was about how I drink blood out of my Grammys.
A toast to blood. Save some blood for Paul Rudd.
This is the ultimate conspiracy theory, according to Joe Rogan.
If you're a conspiracy theorist,
Yeah.
this is the real conspiracy. The conspiracy is have as many social problems as possible
To
that
distract.
people get distracted by, that people concentrate on, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's masks, vaccines, pride, trans movement, sponsor drag shows for kids if you want people to get mad and want people to get distracted.
Right.
Sponsor
Let them
that.
focus on that.
Get
Yeah.
people to think that it's a good idea to do that and watch the outrage. You know, get people to think that the oceans are going to be boiling in 5 years. You know,
Right.
Get people to think that if we don't change it, like that was one of the things that Greta Thunberg said 5 years ago, that we'll all be dead.
In 5 years?
Well, it's 5 years later, and we're not all dead. So you definitely are wrong, and you're 16. So why are they flying you out to Ukraine? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So there's so many of these fucking social distractions that are in our face all day long about everything. And I feel like sometimes that's what I feel like about Supreme Court rulings. We're going to take away Roe v. Wade. And everybody's like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
What? And that's another one.
Yeah.
And then that one becomes a thing that people identify as the most important problem that they have to solve. And while all this is going on, money's getting moved around, decisions are getting made.
Yeah.
And it's a brilliant cover for
It is.
wild shit.
Yeah, because all you have to do ever really is follow the money on anything.
Yeah.
And you see what's actually happening, and everything else is a distraction to that.
So if you're feeling played right now, you should be, because division is the ultimate tactic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give me a follow if you like the content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
You know the Mars theory?
That there's aliens on Mars?
Nah, there's a theory that Mars was the original planet that humans were from.
Okay.
Then something happened that we all had to fly to another planet and live on. There used to be like civilization that lived on Mars. Now bag this. On Mars, there's an element on the periodic table called xenon. Xenon on Earth is only found, this is crazy, is only found after a nuclear explosion.
No.
Oh shit, that's not even the super mode button.
I said no.
What the hell? And it goes hand in hand now. What if on Mars there was a nuclear warfare, destroyed the whole planet, but people were able to escape just in time, landed on Earth, and they had to restart from nothing.
So we are the aliens.
We're the aliens. What the hell?
Yeah?
It's real shit. Like, this element's called xenon. It's prominent after nuclear explosion.
No, it's stunning to monitor the media's lack of interest in the whole Maui story. I've been in this business for 30 years. I'm stunned, but I'm not surprised. The incident seems to be the story here, right? But the true story, the media knows it is not allowed to tell. Is it a coincidence that the Maui police chief is the same man who was in charge in Las Vegas during that massacre that killed 58 people? Is it a coincidence that the Maui property, owned by million and billionaires, it wasn't touched by the flames while homes of the locals all burned?
What she fails to also mention is how the media hasn't even once interviewed a grieving parent. Not a single parent looking for their children. Not a single interview with a child. Not a single interview with the schools.
Was it a coincidence that the largest system of outdoor emergency sirens in the world never made a sound as the fire devoured Lahaina? Was it a coincidence that at the same time, very same time, all the water was turned off? Was it a coincidence that police were ordered to block off streets and to funnel all the cars trying to escape? Think about this coincidence. That governor also signed an emergency proclamation on July 17th, 3 weeks before the fire, about housing of all things. Is it a coincidence that the government put up a black fence around Lahaina, or that the FAA grounded all drones from flying over the affected areas? Is it a coincidence that since at least 2011 there have been plans to make Maui the first smart city run by 100% renewable energy? And that it must be a coincidence then that the locals whose homes did not burn are now being evicted from their property. And of course, a total coincidence that all the fact checkers who are checking these facts, who say everything I just told you is just a coincidence, are also owned and run by BlackRock.
The Simpsons predictions for 2024 are truly chilling.
In an episode dating back to 1998, the show hinted at an economic crisis, a nuclear war, and the death of the leader of the United States, all happening in the same year. The episode in question, titled Bart to the Future, provides a glimpse into the future where Lisa Simpson has become the President of the United States. In a conversation with her team, Lisa mentions that the previous administration led by President Biden left behind budget problems and quite a mess. Later in the episode, a news bulletin reports a nuclear clash with an unspecified country, resulting in massive destruction and chaos. While the idea of a nuclear war and an economic crisis is quite frightening, we can certainly hope that these Simpsons predictions do not come true. However, it's hard to ignore the show's track record in predicting major events, which leads us to wonder what else they might have predicted for the future. And precisely, one of the latest episodes of The Simpsons contains an even more terrifying prediction than anything they have predicted before. Do you want a part 2 to find out about it?
Nickelodeon, the word itself. You know what it actually means? Baghdad. What the does Nickelodeon mean? That's what it means in Latin. No, it's So no.
Okay.
Nickelodeon in Latin, translated to English, Nickelodeon means I don't care about God.
No! Document that came out, everybody just started talking about it now. It's called the Adam and Eve story. It basically explains how the world is going to end. Has it been true? It makes sense. They say the world is going to end because the poles, like, North and South Pole, they shift every 12,000 to 15,000 years. And once they shift, it causes like a giant apocalypse. Big earthquakes, giant tsunamis. Once the apocalypse happens, we go right back to the Stone Age. And it said that our first humans, as us, it was 10,000 years ago. So if you think about it, 10,000 years ago, we're in year 2000. We're at 12,000 years right now. And now you see global warming and shit like that. In the book, it says that we are the 6th civilization that came out of the apocalypse. So we just get to a certain point in life and then it just and that explains a lot, because remember how you were saying that the Sahara Desert used to be green and the Antarctica used to have forests like that? Yeah. That's what happens. It switches
everything, flips. Yeah.
So now some places turn cold, some places turn hot. That's why they was talking about the flood in the Bible like that. That's probably what happened to Atlantis and shit
I was just about to say Atlantis.
And it's mostly just a big ball of lava. That's Earth. But 10,000 feet is not a big deal.
Have you given any consideration whatsoever to the flat Earth movement?
Haha. I think that's a troll situation.
Oh, it's not. No, it's not. You would like to think that because you're a super genius. But I, as a normal person, I know there's people way dumber than me. And they really, really believe. They watch YouTube videos which go on uninterrupted and spew out a bunch of fucking fake facts very eloquently and articulately. And they really believe. These people really believe.
I mean, if it works for them, sure. Fine.
It's weird though, right?
Alright, so you said your name's John? Yeah. Alright, thank you for doing this on your I appreciate it, man. On a scale of 1 to 10, how open-minded would you say you are?
You said how old is what?
How open-minded would you say you are on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm 10.
10? Alright. You think you should look at both sides of the argument before you make a decision on something?
Yeah, nay, but yeah.
Do you trust your senses, like riding your bike, crossing the street, and all that stuff?
Of course I do.
All right. Do you trust the government?
No.
All right. You think the majority's always right?
No.
No? How do you think everything came to be? You didn't like the Big Bang, creationism, or you don't have a belief?
No, I do have a belief. I believe in a higher power. God.
Cool. What would be your definition of science?
They're creative. As you can see stuff that's coming amongst you. You see stuff that's happening, and science is just things that's happening.
All right. Would you agree with me? Science should be observable, measurable, testable, and repeatable. That's like the core of science.
No.
You don't think it? You don't think you should be able to observe it, measure it, and test it?
No, you're supposed to test it, but at the same time, it's just the inevitable.
Inevitable. All right. Do you think science should ever be a closed book?
A closed book or
a closed book, like you shouldn't be able to question something in science. You think?
You're supposed to question everything. Anything that you do in life, you're supposed to question.
All right. To you, what's the difference between a belief and a knowing?
A feeling.
You said what?
A feeling.
A feeling? All right. Would you agree with me, like, a knowing there's two people here talking, though? That's like 100% fact?
Yeah, because that's a knowing. But a feeling is like, oh, that's what I believe. Like, however you was raised up, that's where that comes from.
All right. Well, here's where the topic goes off. Like I said, 95% of the people don't believe what I'm kind of pushing here, but it's been a growing topic, and I think it's getting pushed on by the media or whatever. And so here, I'll just ask you, man, what shape do you think the Earth is? Do you believe it's flat? Do you believe it's without form? Or do you believe it's like an oblate spheroid like everyone's been taught?
Hold on, rewind. What did you say?
What shape do you think the Earth is? Do you believe it's an oblate spheroid like you've always been taught?
Flat.
Flat?
Flat.
You believe it's flat?
I know it's flat.
No, it's flat. Have you actually researched the subject, or?
No, because you can just tell, like, because look, if it was round, how the hell do we got water? The ocean. So you gotta put two and two together and get four. You don't get three, you get four.
All right, yeah, I looked into it. And you actually brought up the main proof, water. There's physicists and stuff going at it, and they're like, if water always takes the shape that's contained in our reality, water can't bend and hold form. So on a globe, it would have to be bending around the globe, right?
We get right. We get.
All right.
Self-explanatory.
All right, cool, man. All right. So you said you just know it, or you actually looked into something?
No, I didn't. Good. It's just self-explanatory.
Did you used to believe in the globe when you were like younger and stuff, or no? You just always?
It's just like when you knew who God is, when you knew the sun, the moon, the stars, and you seen that. When you seen that, you kind of know. Like if you can't know, but then I mean,
it's kind of like you said, you know it's flat. It's common sense. Like I try to stay away from the term flat just because it's like a loaded term. People think like a flat pancake, but it's there's mountains and stuff like that. But you believe it's stationary basically, right? The sun and moon kind of move or whatever.
Exactly.
All right, cool. I mean,
all right, I'll wait till this interview over.
I mean, we're pretty much on the same page, man. You know the difference between like eclipses and stuff like that? Like lunar eclipse and solar eclipse? Yeah, they say the lunar eclipse is actually the Earth's shadow cast on the moon or whatever, but I'm not buying it. I believe it's the sun that's casting the shadow on the moon.
Right, the shadow, because look, the shadow is the sun and the moon. Like, you know,
yeah, they reflect off each other. All right, 100%, man. Yeah, the water. Have you ever heard the opposing pressure system argument?
Oh, what's that?
Have you ever used a pressurized deodorant canister before to for your armpits to spray it?
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, it's known in science application to create pressure like that. You need a solid barrier. They're telling us our atmosphere is adjacent to vacuum space without a barrier. And nowhere in our reality does water ever conform the exterior shape. And nowhere in reality does two opposing pressure systems exist side by side without a solid barrier. So that's a fact physics no one can prove us. And here, I'm just going to go over it real quick. We're on the same page, but I'm going to give you the answers why people believe that that say this is proof of what. All
right, can I ask you this?
Yeah, let me go over this real quick and you can ask me 100%. The North Star doesn't move. It's right in the middle of us.
Just seen it.
Yeah, and it's the only stationary star up there. And the reason why is because everything's actually spinning around us, causing the Coriolis effect. The moon pushes the tides, the sun contracts the tides. They say if you shoot a bullet long range shot west when the sun's there, it's going to dip down. Shoot a bullet west at nighttime, it's going to bounce up. And the lunar eclipse is the sun blocking out the moon.
I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
I've looked into it deeper. So what were you going to ask me, man?
All right, now, do you believe in God?
Yeah, I do.
Do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe that he's the Son of Mary? Do you?
Yeah,
I just want to know.
I was raised Baptist, so yeah.
Oh, I mean,
I believe
the way you was raised is not the way you believe.
But no, I believe.
But do you believe? Is you a believer?
Yeah, I'm a believer.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know.
No, that's cool, man. No, I ain't
all I wanted to know.
It's all good. All right, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for doing it, dude.
I very much appreciate you.
Did Prince really just say this?
When I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time, and so that's cool. A jet just went over, and then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing, and you didn't know why.
Now, come on, man. This is just from heavy air traffic. You know, there has to be some sort of airport nearby. These streaks in the sky are caused by the water vapor in the airplane's engine, and the low temperature causes ice crystals. It's not like they could just turn it off or... Okay, I don't know what that was about, but this is testing the weight limits of the planes, right, for passengers. And no, those aren't hoses hooking up to anything. Yeah, they're just testing the planes, guys. Now that's how they do their little writing in the sky, you know what I'm saying? It's just a crazy conspiracy.
What's a conspiracy theory that absolutely blows your mind?
It's gonna be a long one, but just stick with me. So we all know that Antarctica is like the last place on Earth, at least one of the last places that are virtually untouched by humans. There's no native population, not a single country controls it, but there are actually 16 restricted areas. Now, the reason for these restricted areas is because of the Antarctic Treaty. It was signed back in 1959 by 12 different countries. 2 of these countries were the United States and the Soviet Union. Kinda weird that the United States and the Soviet Union during the middle of Cold War said, you know what, yeah, Antarctica needs to be restricted. But if you look even deeper, you'll find out that during World War II, the German army was sending exploratory expeditions into Antarctica. I had to blur out a little logo here, but you get me. The geologists on these German expeditions claim that they find warm, fresh water and even vegetation, all in a place that's supposed to be just covered in ice. Now, obviously, there are other conspiracy theories as to actually what they were doing there, but there actually was an American response, but I'll have to go over that in part 2 because, oh boy, there's a lot more.